It's really not that hard to get in touch with the 4 essentials for life. Now, what I highly recommend is that you pick different times of the year. Snowy time of the year, hot, dry time of the year, a wet, damp, perhaps cool time of the year. Just take a day and go out in your environment during these days. For example, a day like today, it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It rained all night. It's raining off and on today. Everything's wet. It's cool. Go out into my environment. This happens to be a wooded environment. Just go out there and spend some time. Walk around and see what comes up. And I guarantee you that it won't be very long before the 4 essentials come up. Now you can do this in any environment. You might be an urban dweller or someone who lives in the country, or you can try this in the wilderness, or even in a wooded area or a vacant lot that's nearby civilization. Go out into the environment, spend some time in the elements, and see what comes up. The 4 essentials will come up. Today, just happens it's about to rain. I need shelter. I've also been walking for a while. I'm tired. I need rest. My tongue's getting thick. I could tell that I'm dehydrating. That's one of the first signs for me that I'm a little dehydrated. I start having difficulty speaking. My tongue gets thick. So that's the first 3 of the 4 essentials right away. Okay? I need shelter. Tired. I need rest. I need water. I'm dehydrating. That's 3 of the 4 essentials right off the bat. Didn't take but a few hours. And sometimes it's much more quickly than that based on the climate. Now, all I have to do is hang out a little longer, and I'm probably going to start getting cold, and I'm going to lose energy. I need food. Hunger pangs. That's the 4 essentials. I don't care who you are, what environment you're in, they are the 4 essentials. They will come up very quickly wherever you are and whatever you're doing. So you want to cover the 4 essentials and get in touch with them. I highly recommend, like I say, get out in your environment, spend a little time there, and try this out. You'll see how quickly that the 4 essentials come up. And then while you're out there, you can think about what can you do in your environment, or what can you bring into the environment that's going to help you with those 4 essentials. What's going to provide sustenance for your life. Now, to meet the need of my first essential, which is shelter, I always carry 2 items on me. One is a combustion source, a way to make fire, and number 2 is a cutting tool. Okay, these 2 items are the foundation, the basis of what I can meet the need of shelter with. Okay? The other thing that goes along with that is a little bit of knowledge. Now, couple those 3 together. I came out here, I found a tree, a large tree, get underneath of it. I protect myself from the rain. I've got a little windbreak. I have a cutting tool. I can reinforce my sheltered area by cutting branches and putting up a little blind here, something to surround me, block some more wind, block some more rain. And with my combustion device, I can start a little fire and have a pretty good foundation for a shelter source. You never want to underestimate the possibility of being overexposed to the elements. I personally have experienced hypothermia on an August day when the temperatures turned cold and it got rainy. For my second essential, water, I always carry a water container whenever I leave the home. In fact, even in the home, I usually have a water container near me. Now, to meet that need even better, I try to carry a water container that I can boil water in, so that not only do I have water available to me, but when that water runs out, I can boil water that I gather from another source. Now, some people rely on water in their area to drink. I don't rely on water in its natural environment or in a man-made environment straight up. I want to be able to boil that water to make sure that microorganisms are killed. There are many places around the world where man's water will hurt you, and there are many places in the natural environment where that water will hurt you also. So you want to be able to boil that water, at least kill the microorganisms, and then you want to think about filtering that water also if need be. So to cover my second essential, I definitely want to have a water container that I can boil water in. If there's any doubt about the importance of water, it's a scientific fact that in many environments, 3 days without water and you risk death. And I can tell you, just spend 1 day very active in a dry environment and you will have problems with your speech, you'll have problems thinking, and you'll have problems doing things. So number 2 of the essentials is water. I highly recommend carrying a water source with you and being able to purify that water should you need to replenish your supply. Rest is the third essential, and perhaps people might not place it there, but it is very important that you understand that rest is very important and it is a priority over food. All you need to do is go several days without rest, and not only do you become a danger to yourself because you become clumsy and unclear in thinking, but you could also begin to hallucinate. So rest is very important. Now, how do you provide rest for yourself? Well, if you provide shelter and water, that's going to be part of it. But you also might need a sense of security in certain environments. So, a cutting tool, a means to make shelter, and water are 3 good ways to provide for rest. Highly recommended. Don't take it for granted. I put food 4th on the list of the 4 essentials, and that's simply because you can go much longer without food than you can the other 3 essentials. Now, food is definitely essential. You're going to have food eventually. It is said that a person can last up to 4 weeks without food, and that's probably under the best of conditions. You'll probably need food before then, especially if you're in a survival situation or a bug-out situation. You're going to need food to maintain your body core temperature. It's also going to be needed so you can continue to think clearly and to do things. So I hope we've gotten in touch with the 4 essentials and we realize the importance of them. I'm going to continue on this series, which includes bug-out gear and providing for the 4 essentials.